But getting into the topics for this week, we're going to start off with some recaps here. So, first game that we're going to be recapping is the Ravens versus Chargers game. Um, if there was ever a game to be called a catfish, this would be the one. Both teams came into the game 4-1, so everyone was expecting a close game. Vegas odds favored Baltimore by 2.5 points, which isn't a lot. And the actual game looked like an absolute mismatch. Um, the Ravens blew out the Chargers 34-6, and the Chargers didn't look anything like the dominant team that they showed us the first 5 weeks of the season. So with the Chargers getting held to only 6 points, Brandon, I'm coming to you here. What what would you say had more of an impact on this game? Was it the Ravens defense, or did the Chargers just have a bad game?
I think it was just all around domination by the Ravens. To me, what this came to was the difference in coaching experience. So both teams are riding high. Both teams are at 4-1, but you've got a rookie coach on one side and a seasoned veteran on the other side. In my mind, your seasoned veteran coach is going to be better at the leadership aspect, the managing emotions aspect, and making sure nobody gets too arrogant or too cocky or thinking they can win this game and just sort of sticking to the prep and sticking to the plan. And then they came in and executed perfectly. They shut them down on offense. If you've been watching Justin Herbert, you know he's near impossible to shut down on offense. The Ravens got him. And at the same time, the Chargers just weren't prepared for the run game that they had to face against. So it just looked like a complete mismatch.
Jin, what would you say had a bigger impact on the game? The Ravens defense or the Chargers just looking lethargic?
I mean, the Ravens defense, no lie, really good. The Chargers, I think it just had an off day. They weren't prepared going in. They kind of took in all the hype. It had the makings of a trap game built into it. It seems like the Ravens were, determined to win that game, and they showed it on the field. I can't say more about, the quarterback. Lamar Jackson might be great, but he was absolutely shit in that game. Two picks, can barely go over 200 yards passing. I mean, the only thing is, he has some nice runs, but we all know that once teams identifies his weakness in the run game, um, the Ravens can't score. And Marquise Brown got butterfingers like there's no tomorrow.
Mm. I mean, last couple weeks, the last game excluded, the previous 2 weeks, he did show that arm talent a little bit, and not just running out of the pocket on the first chance.
One of the things that I was worried about with Lamar Jackson is his consistency over a long stretch of time. And I was hoping with these last few games that we were starting to see a trend. It doesn't necessarily look like that. He didn't play that great, at least throwing the ball. We all know he can run. He's fast. Um, and when he gets those lanes, he's going to take them. But we need to see consistency in the throwing. If you look at just the passer rating, Justin Herbert was rated a 67.8. Lamar Jackson was only rated a 68. Just on paper, they played almost equivalent.
Mm. So the difference was in that defense then in your eyes, or I guess in everyone's eyes at this point, because it was these guys were held to only 6 points.
It's almost like the Ravens defense had, the Chargers defense had bigger holes than Nick Bosa's nose.